Welcome back to the playlist. I'm Jay, that's Matty, and we're back with week 3. And any of you hip-hop artists looking for new beats, hit up Hoff Low Key.
Yeah, and this is Yankee and the Brit Sports Talk. Jay's doing too many shows now, so he's gone for the playlist this time. But,
is that what I said? My bad. It was because of Hoff. It's because of Hoff. I was introducing Hoff's beats. Yeah, I'm in the mix of 7 podcasts, so my brain got a freeze. Thanks, Matty.
That's okay. We've got so many shows for you guys to come and watch at any time on the Yankee and the Brit YouTube channel. There'll always be something for you to look into. So always good to check us out.
Daily content. I try to keep daily content. I may miss a day here or there, but I sure try.
Yeah, so keep up to date with us on that daily content. But for you guys here, it is our Sunday preview show where we go through every game and go on the betting lines and tell you guys what to bet. And Jay, we're doing all right so far. You are 16 of 16. You're 4-2 in your best bets. I'm 17 of 15 and 4-2 on my best bets. So that's money, really. Like when you're basically breaking even and on the best bets, like we're worth listening to, guys. So
I'm going to jinx myself, but I've been doing pretty good on underdog betting kickers.
Yeah, basically, Brandon Aubrey will kick from anywhere, I think.
Right, but I'm betting the over-under on how many field goals per kicker, right? So on underdog, I'm actually winning a lot of bets just betting kickers.
You're also going to beat me in fantasy, I imagine, because Brandon Aubrey's going to put up fucking 15 points as a kicker. Oh, it's me and Jay this week.
My season might be over before it started, Matty, if I don't. I'm sorry. I think I cut you off. Go ahead.
But I was just telling everybody that it's us two going against each other in fantasy this week, and we play each other twice this year.
Yeah, I reshuffled the order of the schedule for the first time since the draft started.
All right. Well, there we go. We play each other twice this year, so everybody look out for that as well. But Jay, let's start by looking back. We'll have a look at the Buffalo Bills versus the Miami Dolphins. Buffalo cruised over Miami in the end. But Jay, were there some signs of life for the Miami offense? Did they start to get something going there?
I still think they should fire Mike McDaniel if that is I mean, they showed they can score. I still don't feel like that's a team that came together. I don't, because of the way and the way it ended. And also, I'm like, now, is Tua just the guy who can only operate the offense when things are going well? And I'm starting to feel like as soon as the pressure hits, Tua crumbles. So I don't know what to think of Miami, because I still think they're a fucking train wreck, but they played all right they played good for 3 quarters.
Yeah,
maybe even more.
Yeah, I think they played pretty well, and I think the offense looked good. I do think that offense was a bad matchup for Buffalo. Buffalo are slow on the offensive side of the ball. Like they are slow. And Miami play with a lot of speed. I do think that Miami started to hook things up. I think Devon Achane looked great. I think he's the key to, and has been the key to them getting going on offense last season, the season before, and this season. Like, he's the guy that they need to get more and more involved in.
Now that you said that, though, does it not seem like the guy who started or got famous for being a run game coordinator forgot how to be a run game coordinator at times?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. And I think with Achane in the backfield, like, Achane is such a weapon. He was actually playing some snaps in the slot and things like that as well. Like, he can play everywhere on that offensive side of the ball. So I am amazed at how they've moved away from that run game. And the rookie Gordon looked good as well, like more of that hammer of the ball guy, whereas Achane is more the finesse piece there. So I do think there was some signs of life. They looked okay. They still got beat by 10 points and only scored 21 points against the Buffalo defense that I don't think is incredible. And Jay, are there still questions on the defensive side of the ball for Buffalo?
There's a question on the defensive side of the ball for both of those teams, but yes. Yeah, that's the problem. Is Buffalo's defense going to be good enough to get them to where they want to go? Because we know their offense is good enough. And yes, I know people, I've gotten this before too, is how are you going to say what you said about Josh Allen when you like to say that he always gets a pass on everything? I got that on Instagram, right? Just because I say he gets a pass for shit doesn't mean he's not an elite quarterback. We just don't crush him for the shit Dak or Kirk Cousins or whatever those years we were talking about it got crushed for. That's all. It's not that Josh Allen isn't elite, because he is, but he just gets a pass. That's all. But they have the offense to probably get them to where they want to go, and the offense will just get better because I feel like Josh Allen will just get more in tune with his receivers. And I like their receivers are young too, so I like that receiving core. But I don't know if the defense can carry them to where they need to go, and that's always the question: is can they take that next step?
Yeah, I think for them it's a speed problem on that defensive side of the ball. I think they need to scheme their way out of these speed issues, and look, I'm sure they can do that. But Joey Bosa, I thought looked good. I feel like Joey Bosa is starting to take a step up. To be honest, I wasn't expecting Joey Bosa to look this good at the start of the season. I was expecting him to come in more toward the end of the season. So I'm pretty impressed with the fact that they got Joey Bosa there, and they held the Miami Dolphins to 21 points. So it's not like all doom and gloom, but it is important to say the Bills, are they really contenders defensively? They look slow. Like they got outrun by the Ravens, and the Ravens choked, and we'll talk about the Ravens defense later in the show. And then this week they were the first team that it looked like Miami could actually get an offense going against as well. So poor from the Bills defense, but they come away with the win, and a big win in the end. Although, Jay, we still get the points on the Dolphins because the spread was 12.5.
Right.
Yeah. No one was expecting the game to be as close, even as 10 points. And Jay, you were just talking about Josh Allen there, and I agree with you. I believe that because we know how special he is, people give him a pass for when he's doing not special things, right? But is he the best all-round quarterback in the league right now? Josh Allen, what do you think?
Yeah, I put him, Lamar, and Patrick Mahomes all in the same category. I really do. I just think they all can do things that other people cannot do on the football field, and it's natural. Plus, they're guys that you have to fear every time they step on the field. And I don't know how many other guys you could – I mean, there's times where Joe Burrow's feared, but he's out now. And but there's not too many guys I put in that elite category with those three.
Yeah, and I think with Josh Allen, he's the most well-rounded of those three. I think Lamar is obviously a great passer as well, but the thing that makes him different is his run game ability, and he is very accurate, and his passing game is amazing. But the thing that makes him different is his run game ability. Patrick Mahomes is almost the other side of that, where Patrick Mahomes is leading the Chiefs in rushing this year and does have good run game, but it's his passing ability that makes him so incredibly special. And then Josh Allen is the all-round of the two, where Josh Allen can dominate in the run game and he can dominate in the pass game. And I think Josh Allen has now become the Bills' leading rush touchdown scorer of all time, and he's only been playing for 8 years. He has a crazy amount of touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. I can't remember exactly what it is. But Jay, let's move on to today's games, where we're going to start with your Minnesota Vikings playing against the Cincinnati Bengals at home. The Vikings are 3-point favorites. And Jay, both teams are going in with their backup quarterbacks. Do both backups have a case for making their teams a little better just for this week?
No, but I think Carson Wentz does. I can't say both, because you're asking me, is a guy, undrafted free agent, who's a solid backup, going to make a team that has Joe Burrow better? And I can't say that. Mm-hmm. Do I think but when it comes to Carson Wentz, and it's a huge if, but I'm putting this on Kevin O'Connell, which if it's fair or not, I am. if Carson Wentz can play anywhere near the way he played in Philly, and let's not forget the Colts had him for 1 year and they got rid of him, but so it scares me because maybe there was a locker room issue, but he was 27 touchdowns to 7 interceptions. Like, and if you look back at his career, it's pretty much about 30-7 every season of his career. I don't know why he has a 7 interception thing, but he's got like 30-7. That's a great fucking stat line if you're just judging, and we know Carson Wentz has talent. We just know Carson Wentz does boneheaded shit sometimes, like sprain both of his ankles on one play, which is super talented in itself. But I think if Kevin O'Connell can keep him in that system, and I had people go, aren't you worried about the new system? I'm not. He was under McVay for a year. Like, he understands. He's been in enough systems. He just understands football.
Yeah, and I think with Carson Wentz as well, like, he's had the preseason there. It's not like he's brand new, like, been flown in as a
he missed the whole preseason. They signed him after final cuts.
Sorry, my bad. But he's had the whole
I think you're thinking of Sam Howell because they brought him in and then dumped him out. I am. But
he has had the whole start of the season. It's not like when Stafford went down. So Stafford went down, so the Rams flew out Baker Mayfield to play in that game for the Rams. He's played in that. He has played in that system, and as you say, was with McVay beforehand. So he does know the game, and I think he does maybe make the Vikings slightly better than they are with JJ McCarthy. Not over a season, but just in this game, especially with JJ McCarthy coming off a rough game. Although all signs show that he'll be back next week. He seems to be pushing for this week, like either next week or the week after. So he'll be back.
Okay. Can we be honest? If Carson Wentz balls out, JJ is not going to be healthy next week. Even if JJ's healthy, we're going to be precaution, this and that, and then But I think that's smart. Working back slowly.
Take the time, especially after a difficult. He's really played one good quarter in his NFL career so far, and I do think in that first week he was hamstrung into playing. That one good quarter was also amazing, like the fourth quarter that he played in week 1.
Let the offensive line get healthy before you bring JJ back. Otherwise, you're just going to keep getting him murdered.
Yeah, I do think the Vikings are desperate for Christian Darrisaw. Is Darrisaw playing this week?
We'll know in like 5 minutes. And Kevin O'Connell is not one to hide it from the media. So when he says game time decision, it's really a game time decision.
Yeah, and I feel like no backup on that Vikings line is going to have a great time blocking Trey Hendrickson. So even injured Darrisaw probably gives them a better chance.
I think Kelly's out no matter what, though. I think at center they're minus Kelly. So that's why I'm saying you let them get healthy before you bring a rookie who's already trying to get his brain fast enough with the NFL game. You can't have him thinking about dying in the process.
Yeah. And I think with Carson Wentz, like, he has enough talent, and with like Justin Jefferson out there as well from to throw to, and Jordan Mason's looked amazing out of the backfield as well at running back with Aaron Jones now being sidelined. As well, I think that Wentz does give them a step up into being better. I have seen a lot of people saying that Browning does actually make the Bengals better because he has a quicker time to throw than Joe Burrow. And when he came in last year, the Bengals offense kind of, or was it the year before? But whenever he came in last, the Bengals offense kind of took a couple of steps forward while Joe Burrow was recovering from injury. He has a quicker time to throw. The Bengals offensive line, I'm not sure whether I agree that they're better with Joe Burrow. They lose their top end immediately without Joe Burrow, and maybe the floor is a little higher with Browning because he has a quicker time to throw. But
my argument is completely gone. My argument is ask every one of those Bengal fans if they're both healthy who you want to start.
Yeah, exactly. Jay, what are the key matchups that you see this week?
Oh, don't even get Hoff started. He wins. That motherfucker wins one parlay and blew up the fucking private bet. I wanted to send him back my $309 win, but I was like, I am not even getting into it because Hoff won't stop.
Hoff won't stop. That's funny. Jay, what are the key matchups that you've got this week for the Vikings versus the Bengals? What are the keys to victory on either side of the ball?
The lines, absolutely the offensive, defensive lines, right? Because we have questions about the Vikings line. We always have questions about the Cincinnati Bengals line. The Vikings defense has brought in a lot of people to shore up that line to make it better. And then you have the whole saga with Trey Hendrickson, and then their rookie that they didn't sign right away. I don't know why his name's space in it, but they had a lot of problems on their defense. So what the two lines are what I want to watch, because whichever line can give their quarterback more time probably wins this game.
Definitely. I agree with that. And I think like if Christian Darrisaw is playing him on Trey Hendrickson, that is the key to this game. And we'll see if he ends up playing. We'll know within the next few minutes. But Jay, the Vikings are 3-point favorites in this game. Who have you got?
He's making his season debut.
Excellent. There you go. Darrisaw is in. Quickly get your bets in. We'll see if the betting line changes. It is 3 points for the Vikings from what we're looking at. Jay, what you got?
I fucking hate betting on the Vikings, and you know this. Like, I honestly wish I could honestly go, they're going to fucking lose. I fucking hate it. And then that's when good things happen, right? But you know me, I take it too emotionally. One drive into the game, if it doesn't go right, I'm texting the group chat, fuck my life, this game is over. I fucking hate everything. I'm still taking the Vikings -3, but you already know I'm over it. I'm over the top when it comes to this.
Yeah.
I actually rely on your pick more to see if I'm being ridiculous.
You very smartly don't bet on the Vikings
at all,
like whatsoever. Yeah, just don't even touch it. Jay, I'm also taking the Vikings in this one. I think they have the better of the two backup QBs. I think they just generally have the better roster. And if one defense is going to make a backup QB have a terrible time, it's Brian Flores' defense.
One thing, too, do not let Jamar Chase into the end zone in our stadium, because that motherfucker said he's going to do the gritty, and if he gritties in our stadium, somebody needs to dump him on his head. So do not let that motherfucker in the end zone.
Okay, nice. Nice rivalry.
Well, yeah, they're like best friends, so it makes it even worse, right? Like,
yeah, right. Yeah. Jay, the Jacksonville Jaguars are going up against the Houston Texans. I think a lot of people were surprised to see that the Jaguars were 1.5-point favorites in this one. I checked this morning. The money is still got the Jaguars as 1.5-point favorites. I kind of expected the line to change from our show on Thursday. This was one of my best bets of the week to take the Texans at +1. So I'll be sticking with the Texans. But Jay, can the Texans O-line hold up against the Jags defensive line? They've got Trayvon Walker in some stunts, actually getting to the quarterback for the first time since he was the first overall pick.
No, and it's the coming out party for the Jacksonville Jaguars this week. Everything's going to start. This is just a gut weird feeling. Everything's going to start clicking with Cohen and that offense, because everything's new. We're going to see more time of possession and their defense not being stressed as much. Also, if you need a good get-right game for your defense to like just take over, this is the offensive line to do it against. This offensive line is just awful, and you and I have – this is beating a dead horse. Yeah, this is beating a dead horse, right? Yeah. They're awful. And so I don't know why. I have no rhyme or reason. This is just a gut pick, everybody, just so you know.
Just the serious issue with the Texans O-line is the fact that it's terrible up the middle. Like, that's the really serious.
And it's the worst place to be soft on a line.
Exactly. It's like it's like people have bad tackles and stuff like that, but they have an entire terrible interior O-line, and they got rid of their best tackle. They brought in Cam Robinson, and Cam Robinson is fine as well, but impressively bad. Jay, you say that this is the game where they click. Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. just haven't they just haven't been on the same page at all. Like, if you watch snap by snap in the last game, yes, Trevor Lawrence puts him in some hospital pass situations, like some dicey situations. But even on the routes where he's not doing that, Brian Thomas Jr. is not fully committed. He looks completely disinterested in the game as well. What's good, man? But yeah. Jay, why do you think that this is the game? And have you been surprised at how bad that it's been so far?
You know, oddly, I'm not surprised, and I'll tell you why. I really like Trevor Lawrence, and I think he's got all the talent in the world, but he has not showed us yet that he is a fucking overall top franchise guy. He has showed me he's the guy that's just good enough to, and you can't move on from, right? And now you paid him. Now he needs to step the fuck up and show everybody why he was drafted first overall, and you know what I mean, and why he gets all the praise, because he's got all the talent in the world. Me, right? I feel like I'm from Missouri, the show me state, right? You got to show me, because I ain't seen nothing yet that tells me that he can do it except for talent.
Yeah, it's like we know he's got. It's like you just watch Trevor Lawrence and like you know he's got it, but you do have to eventually deliver on those tickets as well. Talking about tickets, we have Freezus wanting to bet with us this week, so hopefully we do well for him. Jay is taking the Jacksonville Jaguars in this. I'm taking the Houston Texans, which is fun because the Texans are one of my best bets of the week, and it's always fun when we disagree on the other person's best bet as well. Jay, the Tennessee Titans are going up against the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are 5.5-point favorites on one of the surprise teams of the NFL so far this season. I've compared them to last year's New Orleans Saints, but I do wonder, Jay, do the Colts have a bit more legs than last year's New Orleans Saints? Because that Saints team was really out of nowhere.
I think Shane Steichen and Danny Dimes might have been fucking born to work together. I think Danny Dimes is proving that New York is just not a place for quarterbacks to survive. I don't give a fuck which franchise either. It is just god awful. But to answer Freezus' point, I think Tyrod Taylor is going to cause havoc this week and run that team better, but we will get to the Jets. I've been really impressed, and I've been one who has just dunked on Danny Dimes his whole career, and I've been really impressed on how he played because he's actually looked like a real NFL quarterback, and it starts to make me think. I think you said it a couple weeks ago. Is Daboll really a good, even a good offensive coordinator, or did he just have Josh Allen?
He just had Josh Allen. It's got to be right at this point.
You know,
I agree. I think that the Colts team, with the fact that Danny Dimes is there, does have more legs than the Saints team last year. I think also the point that Jonathan Taylor is like clearly just back to his best. Like he looked back to his best at the end of last year. He looks really great at the start of this year as well. Is a really big deal. But Danny Dimes screams Midwest quarterback, right? Like he screams should be turning up to the game in his khakis and all of that kind of stuff, while New York doesn't really vibe with that. And I think Danny Dimes showed elements of it in New York where he would be a really good quarterback. And guys, if you're looking for fantasy quarterbacks, with the fact that there's been injuries so far and you're playing in a team with less, like if you're playing in a league with less fucking people in it than ours, try and get Danny Dimes on either a cheap trade, or if you can pick him up off the free agency wire, then get a hold of him, because I think he is a great fantasy QB as well. Because
Matty is very scarred because he brought it up in his group chat, and then both his quarterbacks went down and Danny Dimes was gone, so he's scarred.
I hate myself. I said, you guys are all really undervaluing Danny Dimes. I got laughed at in the chat, and then somebody was it Duffy?
It was.
The Brit knows to go pick it up, like what they're doing. But Jay, on the other side of the ball, we have the Tennessee Titans. Obviously, like not looking particularly good as a whole team, but are you strangely impressed by Cam Ward, like first overall pick? You impressed by him?
I like what I'm seeing. He's the least hyped first overall pick ever, which is probably great for him. Shador probably just made his fucking career so much easier, like to start, right? Because he's not got that glaring. Every week we're not focusing on what did Cam Ward do? What did Cam Ward do, right? So, but I like what he's been doing. I've been impressed. He does look like he was definitely worth that first overall pick. I'm just not impressed with the Texans or with the Titans overall. So yeah. I am taking the Colts minus the 5.5 in this game, because we had beat up on Shane Steichen, but I'm starting to wonder now, is that all Anthony Richardson?
Yeah, I feel like, I I feel like Anthony Richardson really exasperated like Steichen's like lack of like to make a guy like Richardson work, you have to have a really mad and creative offense. And I don't think Steichen does that. I think Steichen just puts the things in the right places, and he needs a quarterback that can just hit things, right?
I hate to do
he's
this.
Not like mad creative.
I hate to do it to Jalen Hurts, but he's running that offense with Danny Dimes like he did with Jalen Hurts with the Eagles, and run the ball, don't be afraid to use your legs, play off your strengths, which then it starts to make guys open 6 inches more, which in the NFL is fucking huge.
It's what good offensive coordinators do. They look at the skills that they have in the building and they're able to do that. It turns out Anthony Richardson needs some fucking crazed offensive coordinators coming in, like college style offensive coordinators from those teams that like don't punt ever and those.
He needs 2 years with Andy Reid. That's what he needs.
Yeah, that kind of thing, right? But Jay, I've been really impressed with Cam Ward. I think he shows great composure with the fact that the team's not great around him. I think he shows really great composure, and that bodes well for them. They also have a couple of good young wide receivers that are making big plays. Just the rest of the team can't function around them. So, yeah, I'm going to go with the Colts as well at 5.5 points here. Jay, you went for them on your best bet at 4.5. So you get the 4.5 on your best bet and you get the 5.5 on this one as well. Just for those of you guys that are keeping score with us and what we're doing. Jay, the Washington Commanders are 2.5 point favorites against the Las Vegas Raiders. It is official that Jaden Daniels is not playing in this game. But Jay, is Marcus Mariota a solid situational backup for the Commanders? Kind of going back to what we were talking about in the fit that they have.
No, and it's nothing against Mariota. I've watched him through his career. He seems like the most wonderful person on the planet. But no, he's not an NFL quarterback. And he's only still in the league because he's a great guy to have next to your starter. He's going to help your starter see the defense, see what's going on. But we've watched him play how many times, and even when he was young and super athletic still, he wasn't the answer for anybody. And I don't know. If Jaden Daniels ain't back in a week or two, it could be very problematic. The only thing they have going for them is that besides Max Crosby, that defense in Vegas has had me questioning them. So that's the only thing they got going for them in this game. But I think the Commanders are in trouble. And if you're giving me points with the Raiders with no Jaden Daniels, and I think that the Raiders have gotten beat up so much this week for not using Ashton Genty enough that we are going to see him come out and get a lot more play. And I know Chip Kelly decided to try to get on a soapbox and go, in the basketball, they call it load management. Motherfucker, nobody load manages the first 2 games of the season. I don't care what sport it is. Unless you're coming off an injury, nobody's load managing in the first week or two. So stop it. Get this kid the ball fucking 30 times a game.
Yeah, I think with Marcus Mariota, he came in for Jaden Daniels. He came in for Jaden Daniels a couple of times last season when Jaden Daniels had to spend like a half out. I think after, like, considering he broke his rib, he still played, but like he spent a half out the day where the game where he broke his rib. And Marcus Mariota looked good. I think Marcus Mariota has a good amount of third down running potential. Like, he's not the same like crazy athletic guy as before, but I think he does have an ability to run the ball. I think he does have an ability to hit open guys, and I think the Vegas defense just isn't with it whatsoever.
Right.
I wonder if their offense can get up and running. And you say it's Ashton Genty that they need to get going in order to get their offense up and running. Yeah. But what about Brock Bowers? Yeah, so Brock Bowers did very little last week. And you would think that Geno Smith is the type of quarterback that would just love Brock Bowers and just hit him every single time. So I'm confused as to why they haven't got to that point yet. And the fact it seems so easy and they haven't done it yet makes me think that they won't be able to do it. So I'm going to take the Commanders at 2.5 in this one.
I was going to say, I think using Ashton Genty frees up Bowers, which gives them more. But I also, to your point, is Geno's not really been the guy who throws to his tight ends. Like, he's had really good receivers when he was in Seattle, when he has at his best, right? I mean, you have DK on one side, Jackson Smith, Jig, but your number 3 was Lockett, right? I mean, you got a good receiving course. You just dink and dunk and then hit the long one. But I think Gino's smart enough because he's a veteran player that he'll figure that all out, and he's in a new offense. I think if you get that running game going, it opens up everything else. But I like that we're going differently. The only argument I got against Mariota is if I'm the defense there, I stop him from running because I don't believe you can beat me with your arm.
Yeah, and to be honest, just Terry McLaurin, like every guy who's in the NFL can hit open wide receivers, and I feel like Terry McLaurin is going to be pretty NFL open at points this game. And look, the Commanders' O-line has got to work out a way to stop Max Crosby long enough for that to happen. But we'll see where they get up to on that one. Jay, this is maybe, in my opinion, the game of the week that we're going to be talking about next. And it surprises me that it's an early kickoff. But the Philadelphia Eagles are 3.5-point favorites against the Los Angeles Rams. Jay, the Rams played the Eagles twice last year, and it was really close. How much can we read into that? They were the ones that gave them the biggest trouble in the playoffs, and they were a 60-yard Saquon Barkley run away from beating them in the regular season as well.
It's the scheme, right? Like these coaches know how to figure out how to scheme against somebody, and the more they play them, the more they figure them out. It becomes a chess match. I don't think this game's going to be a blowout at all because, one, neither team seemed to play that type of football, that they just blow people off the field, and definitely not the Eagles. The Eagles just like methodically beat the shit out of you till the fourth quarter where your whole team's like, fuck, I can't breathe. And then, then they just put it away. I think the Eagles are the best team in the NFL right now, but I think today at home, the Los Angeles Rams figure out a way to get it done. I just don't love the 3.5, but I'm still going to take it. Give me the 3.5 with the Rams. If it was 3, I'd feel better.
Sorry, the Eagles are 3.5-point favorites. The Eagles are the favorites.
I don't know why I thought they were giving it to the Rams. I thought that was weird. But even better, give me the Rams plus the 3.5 because I think it's a 3-point game.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I agree with you on this one. Everyone's up for the Raiders. The Commanders are clearly on upset alert. The Commanders' defense does worry me the more I think about it as well, actually. But Jay, I'm going for the Rams as well in this one. I think the Rams are a really good matchup, especially with the addition now of Devontae Adams. And also, the Eagles' passing game has looked weak if you have enough wide receivers to be able to attack Adoree Jackson. Adoree Jackson, since he's got to the Eagles, has been horrendous. He's not been good at all. And the Rams possess those weapons to be able to attack Adoree Jackson the whole time. So Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams with Matthew Stafford thrown to them. We'll see where they get up to. The Eagles defense looks stellar with Jalen Carter in there again last week. So we'll see if the Jalen Carter effect picks up. Jay, the other side of the ball here is
I see Howie Roseman making a trade before the trade deadline for a corner. Do you not see that? I see that coming.
Yeah. He can't carry on with Adoree Jackson. If he's able to get something done, then he can't continue on with Adoree Jackson.
Did you really just say Howie Roseman if he can get something? Because this is Howie Roseman. Yeah, exactly. He will get. He's got a box of blackmail evidence against every GM in the league.
Yeah, Sauce Gardner is the next Eagle. Yeah, like somehow Sauce Gardner is the next Eagle. Yeah, breaking news: Patrick Surtain trades to the Eagles. In a straight swap for Patrick Surtain and Adoree Jackson.
Oh shit!
But that would be the most. That's how we know he has something on someone. But so Jay, that's the weakness for the Eagles on the other side, and I think the Rams have a good matchup there. But Jay, also, do the Rams have the best pass rush in the league? And it means if they can set out and stop the run, which is easier said than done with the Eagles. But if you can set out and stop the run, you can really tuck into like this passing game because the passing game hasn't started for the Eagles. Also, do the Rams have a big advantage on the passing game defense, the passing side of the ball?
Yeah, I think the Rams have really good edge players, and I think Verse is just going to get better, and you're going to see the progression of this defense. One thing people always do is underestimate the Rams, and then they just get better and better as the year goes on, and they've proven that they can win in multiple different ways. They can do the fuck these picks, or they can, draft really well and rebuild the team. I really like their defense. I do think, though, there comes a time where I don't care how good your defense is, when you have teams like the Eagles, it's like if they can get clicking, they have weapons all across the board.
Yeah,
so it's all about, can they give Jalen time and can he get in a rhythm? Because if he can, then you guys are any team is in trouble. But I think with the Eagles, you got to get Saquon going early. I think that's the key. And then once Saquon gets early, then it makes the pass defense a lot harder. If they can shut down Saquon, you can shut down the pass game. And I think that's the key to the Rams defense.
Yeah, and I think the Rams did manage to shut down Saquon. I think Saquon averaged like 2 yards a carry against them in that playoff game and in the early season game, apart from the plays where he broke off like a 60-yard touchdown in both games. So it's can you stop those second, like once he gets to the second level, can you stop Saquon Barkley and limit him to a 10-yard carry instead of the 60 and then get him back down to the 2-yard carries again from there? And look, Saquon Barkley only averaged about 2.5 yards a carry against the Dallas Cowboys as well. So they are stoppable. Like they are stoppable. It's just, can you stop the big game breakouts for Saquon Barkley? I think that's the game. I think that's the game of the week that I'm so surprised that it's on the earlier kickoffs here. Jay, the Carolina Panthers go up against the Atlanta Falcons, and the Falcons are 4.5-point favorites. And I think one of the least talked about but big stories in the NFL this year is Michael Penix. What do you make of Michael Penix's start to the season, Jay?
I think he's been really solid, and I think he's doing exactly what you want to see out of him. I'm not ready, again, to crown him yet, but I am not ready to shut the door on him. Penix was super talented in college. The only knock people ever had on him coming out, well, they said his durability, but he proved his last couple of years that maybe those knee injuries were a fluke, and he stopped running the way he used to when he nuked his knees too. But his age, they always beat up his age, but right now it's looking like maybe his age was actually a benefit for the short term, right? Not the long term, but for the short term. I really like Atlanta in this game. I do like what Carolina's building, but again, I still think Carolina's a couple years off from us even talking about them as like winning a division or playoffs. So again, I'm going to stick with Atlanta minus the 4.5 in this game because I think they have a ton of talent too. So you put Michael Penix in a perfect position to succeed, right? So if he doesn't succeed, that's on him. It's kind of the J.J. McCarthy thing. Like, if J.J. doesn't figure it out, that's on him because he had everything in the world to figure it out.
Yeah, and I do think with Penix, like, he's looked okay. Like, the reason no one's talking about him is because he's looked really solid, and that's fine. Like, that's in a team like Atlanta, you're fine with fine. You know, when you've got Bijan Robinson coming out of the backfield, when you've got Drake London, a wide receiver, Pittman, Kyle Pitts, Kyle Pitts at tight end. Wow, what a big miss. Kyle Pitts at tight end as well. Like, you're fine with fine. You just don't want someone in the start of their career to look like a total disaster when they have that much around them. So I think that's why Michael Penix has gone unspoken about. Jay, I think Bijan Robinson is the key to any playoff hopes Atlanta has. Like, he's been pretty great throughout the start of the season, especially in making those big game plays.
Yeah, I like that. Like I said, I like Atlanta and their defense. Their defense looked good. So their defensive line's been playing a lot better. Their offensive line, and I know people probably get sick of hearing it, but keys to winning in the NFL are the lines.
Yeah, definitely. And Jay, finally, with the other quarterback on the other side of the ball is Bryce Young, who has loads of questions around him as well. Do you think that Bryce Young is going to be the quarterback of the Carolina Panthers going into next season?
I do. I think he's a guy that we see progressing from all the time, and he went to a really bad team, and people keep forgetting how bad the team was. And we got to stop expecting these rookies to come out and be on fire right away. I mean, Peyton Manning was awful his first year. You know what I mean? And we got to stop thinking that these quarterbacks are going to come in 100% NFL ready for the speed of the game and be able to take off. And he's already set with physical limitations because of his size. I really like the way he's been progressing. I actually like what they've been doing to bring him along I'm not going to lie, Tom Frank Reich was fucking this whole thing up right off the jump. So
yeah.
I I like Bryce Young, and I think that we don't know exactly what he'll be as a finished product, but I definitely think he's shown enough where he's there next year, and he's probably there through his whole first contract at a minimum starting.
Yeah, definitely. And I think when you've got a rookie quarterback, while you have such a big roster rebuild anyway, you may as well keep him. And especially, he seems like a really great guy. Like, he seems like a really great professional already. Like, the fact that he got benched and then has come back and looked better, like, that's a big thing to like get over. And he looks like a really great professional. So may as well have him in the building. And he's playing some decent football as well. Jay, 4.5 points for the Falcons. You took them at your best bet at 5.5. I'm also going to take them at 4.5 as well. So you get the 4.5 today and the 5.5 on that one. Jay, next up, we've got the New England Patriots going up against the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Jay, I found out a stat today. The Patriots haven't won back-to-back games since 2022. What is the game plan for them to get there this time round? 2022.
Well, I don't know what their game plan is, but I don't believe they're getting there today anyway. So I don't think their game plan really matters at this point. They're in such a rebuild that people got to give this team time. We are seeing guys with a lot of talent on this team, but there's a lot of holes still too because they mortgaged everything at the end of Brady's career to get that last Super Bowl, which then Belichick put him behind the 8 ball by not drafting the right quarterback, but then we come to find out that's not the quarterback he wanted, and he got kind of forced into it with Mac Jones. So I don't know. I just know that cap-wise and talent-wise, they've had some problems since Brady left, and it finally seems like Wolf as the GM and Vrabel as the head coach are moving this team in the right direction. I think they found the right quarterback. It's just your problem is when your number one receiver's a 30-year-old Stephon Diggs or a 30-something-year-old Stephon Diggs, which I know that they're building. So what else were they going to do? But we're still a year or two away from them even being where they want to be to say, okay, now we're going to go chase this title.
Yeah, and I think they are showing big steps forward. Like, I think the Vrabel effect is already taking over. Like, their offensive line hasn't changed that much from last year, and it's not great, but it's much better already. Like, it's not incredible, but compared to last year, Drake May isn't running for his life and about to die the entire time. So I think that is the Vrabel effect already taking over, and they look much better. The Steelers, obviously, I think the Patriots' game plan has to be run the ball up against that Steelers front that hasn't looked the same. Like, the Steelers defense hasn't looked the same. And then see what you can get. See what one-on-one situations you can get for Drake May to throw to Stephon Diggs and see if you can get the ball moving. The Patriots will be gutted that Christian Gonzalez has been ruled out of this game. And it's a shame that his injury issues are really taking over because anytime he plays, he looks like a number one cornerback in this league. So it is a shame for them that he's gone down. But Jay, what do you make of the problems for the Steelers defense to start the season? Because that's not the side of the ball that anybody expects them to have problems on.
I don't know. I think they'll figure it out. I think it's just the beginning of the year shit because you have a lot of the same guys. You got Cam Robinson still. I mean, you got Cam Hayward still on the team. TJ Watt. You got Jalen Ramsey there. You got veterans that know what they're doing. You got Mike Tomlin. I think they'll all figure it out. I think this is some weird. Again, and maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I blame too much shit on this, but not playing in the preseason, I think we see some ugly football, but some ugly football and some, at the beginning of the season because of lack of playing time. I'm not worried. I mean, if in a week or two we're still having these problems, I'd be worried about them. But right now, I'm not worried about them and their defense. I'm kind of hoping, though, they don't really get it together till week 5 since we'll see you in Ireland next week.
Yeah. And I think with the Steelers, like, you can always trust them to get it right. Like, I think they will eventually get on the right page. I think a lot of people are expecting their offense to be the problem. And look, the offense didn't look great last week, but, teething problems of a new quarterback, new wide receivers, pretty much new everything. Jay, these are the Steelers are one of my best bets for the week at 1.5 points. Are you taking the Steelers as well?
Yes.
Yeah, the Steelers are 1.5 here. I thought last week, the Patriots a 1.5 dog to the Dolphins was crazy, and I was proved right. And then this week, they've flipped it too far the other way, and they've made the Patriots a 1.5, only a 1.5 dog against the Steelers, who are much better than the Dolphins. So that's mad. Jay, we'll quickly go over the next couple of games. As I'm aware, we've only got like 35 minutes until kickoff, but the Cleveland Browns are going up against the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers are 8.5-point favorites. Jay, can the Browns run game get anything on the Packers D line to stop Joe Flacco just being a statue back there and getting ripped on by Michael Parsons and co?
Well, we're going to find out because Judkins is getting his first start as the rookie running back for the Browns. I know they're really high on him. I think they have a decent running back room, too, with Sampson and Ford behind him. Do they have the guy that everybody knows is a household name? But I think they got guys who can run the ball. So if that offensive line can get them some room and then get running, they will make Joe Flacco's day a whole lot easier. Also, the fact that Flacco can't move around in the pocket, you better get the run game going and you better get the ball out of your hands quick. So if he gets beat up too much in the first half, maybe we see a Dylan Gabriel sighting.
And it genuinely might not be a terrible time to get Dylan Gabriel out there because everybody expects them to be horrific. So if he's horrific, you can just hold your hands up in the air. But also, you can also say, well, we've given him a try. Let's get to Shador. Because I do think that Shador looked better in the preseason than Dylan Gabriel, no matter what. People are saying to put Sanders down. But Jay, it's a big spread in this one, an 8.5-point spread. Who you got?
Give me the Packers because I don't think the Browns defense has enough to get in the backfield and cause havoc to Jordan Love. And if they do get in the backfield, I feel like they're going to give up gap integrity, and Jordan Love's just going to take off out of the pocket and gash you for 70 yards this game if you don't keep your rush integrity. So I don't think there's much the Browns can do to keep up with the Packers, and I'd be shocked if this wasn't a runaway.
Yeah, I think that the Browns defense isn't getting the credit it deserves because obviously Myles Garrett is on the team still, but the Packers offense has looked great to start off with. So yeah, give me the Packers to just hold them to, like, the Packers might hold them to under 10 points in this game, in my opinion. So you only need to score 19 after that to be able to get anywhere. Jay, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is 6.5-point favorites against the New York Jets. As we've already mentioned, the Jets are without Justin Fields. Tyrod Taylor is taking the place. Jay, you said Tyrod Taylor is going to be tearing up this week. So tell us more about that.
First, Freezes, you better watch it talking about Mar like that. He might drop a diss track on you, too. Okay. Hold on, sorry. All right. Freezes got me in that whole thing, and then I got a cough. I think Tyrod Taylor's an upgrade. And he could have a chance of wreaking havoc, is what I said. But I don't think that the Tampa defense is the one you wreak havoc on. But I do think he's an upgrade from Justin Fields. I know people just aren't going to – they're never going to start him because of his age, right? He's never going to be the franchise guy, and then he's known as a journeyman. Every time Tyrod Taylor has came in for a team, he has elevated them somehow, at least for a week or two. He's one of those Fitzmagic type guys where he can come in and give you that boost for a couple of weeks. So I don't think he's the answer there, but I also don't think that Justin Fields is the answer there. And you don't – I mean, he's not the same type of athlete, but you don't have the huge fall off to where you have to change the offense. And you're probably going to get a better passing game out of Tyrod Taylor, which I think puts a little more stress on the Bucs. But in the end, I think the Bucs have too much talent, and I think the Bucs are too good this year to fall to the Jets. And I think it'll be for more than a touchdown. So give me the Buccaneers minus the 6.5.
Yeah, something that's really surprised me out of the Jets is the fact that their defense has taken a big step back as well. Like I'm surprised. I'm surprised in the fact that their defense has taken a big step back. I find that very surprising. So yeah, I'll be taking the Tampa Bay Bucks as well. But Jay, are you surprised that people aren't talking about Tampa as like a true NFC contender? what do we need to see out of Tampa for people to consider them an NFC contender? Is it simply that no one can see Baker Mayfield as the top 5 quarterback he is currently?
That's what I was just going to say. It's just the Baker Mayfield hate. And I know everybody, and I even said it, but not like it was over, but like, at what point does Mike Evans just stop being able to play football because he's 137? But we're not seeing it yet. So, and they have a good receiving corps. If you think about it, like Godwin in the scheme of things, number 3 now.
Yeah, well, Godwin comes back in. So Godwin comes back in next week, and then you've got Ibuka, who's looked amazing.
That's what I'm saying. So he comes back as what, your number 3?
Exactly.
So that's a good receiving corps. I think they're contenders right now. They just have to prove it. That's all.
Yeah. It's just no one seems to call them the true contender. But I'm like, yeah, I love everything that the Bucs do. So the Bucs at 6.5 points. I don't love that spread. I feel like the Jets are able to play feisty football. They have a great running back duo. Elijah Cansey is out for the Tampa Bay Bucs, which I think is a bigger miss than what people will give it credit for. But at the end of the
day, Bucky Irvin's going to go off today.
Well, I hope not, but we'll see. Jay, the Los Angeles Chargers are 2.5-point favorites against the Denver Broncos. I think this is the other contender for game of the week for me, and no one is talking about this one as game of the week, and I'm surprised about that. But Jay, someone no one was really talking about coming into the season was Quentin Johnson, and I've been massively surprised about his offensive production. Do you think the Chargers can keep Quentin Johnson's offensive production high?
Yeah, I think that the way they're running their system absolutely fits what he does well, and I think this is what you see out of good coordinators. I feel like this spread is disrespectful as fuck because I haven't seen that Denver's offense is elite in any way yet so far, and I feel like the Chargers are a real contender in the AFC. They might be just tiny step below those top teams, but we know how, as the season goes, you get into the playoffs, and, you start clicking. I think people really are underestimating the fucking Chargers, and it's really baffling to me. And I think the Denver Broncos are a good team, but I think they got a lot of hype, and I was included, in the offseason that they haven't lived up to yet, even though they still look good. I think the hype was high, and I still think the Chargers are a better team, and I don't trust Bo Nix against that defense. So I think it's a disrespectful spread, and I am going with the Chargers minus the 2.5.
Yeah, I think with the way that they've started to run that offense, then they factor really well. I feel like Justin Herbert is also kind of the perfect quarterback to run that kind of offense, right? Where it's, okay, I just need to pick these guys off, play a lot of run game, just need to pick these guys off. And then, I get to release my cannon of an arm every now and again. Great. Justin Herbert is able to do all of the above there. And I think Quentin Johnson suits that really well. On the other side, I feel like Ladd McConkey, fantasy owners of Ladd McConkey, including myself, have been upset with his production so far. I feel like he'll get back, into it. He is a volume receiver at the end of the day. So hopefully the volume will be there, especially in games like this where the Broncos have a great defensive line. They have one of the better defensive lines in the league as well. So in these kind of games, Ladd McConkey would go off. I agree with you, Jay, and the Denver Broncos have been disappointing from where lots of people were putting them. Lots of people were putting them as true contenders and things like that. How bad has Bo Nix been in that start to the season? Has he seen a big second-year regression here, sophomore slump?
I think part of the problem is that Bo Nix played probably above what everybody was expecting last year as a rookie, and now you're expecting this kid to elevate, and now we're at that point where everybody's got a year of film on him. Also, you didn't really upgrade his receiving core and running back room. You didn't do a lot to help him. You did some shit on the defense, which is great, but you didn't do any more to help your young quarterback, which you're solid, but with a young quarterback, I just want to see more, right? I want to see you give him some more opportunities to grow. And I think Sean Payton's a good coach for him. But again, you're asking a second-year quarterback to carry an offense because nobody's really giving him some help.
Yeah, with a guy like Devontae Adams out there that was on the free agent market and or the trade block at least. But with wide receivers who are out there for you to go and get, DK Metcalf was also traded as well. There was guys that were available to go and get, and you would think that Denver would have gone and got them with the fact that they are in this Super Bowl window. Whoever in our league took Troy Franklin, fuck you. I really wanted him. He's looked great coming out for the Denver Broncos. But if he's your number one wide receiver, you're going to struggle to be a Super Bowl contender in that. Jay, I also think that this spread is slightly disrespectful, although I could see the Broncos defense halting the Chargers enough. But give me the Chargers at 2.5 points.
All right, we got some breaking news. Freezus is a psycho, and he is betting a 16-leg parlay based on what we said.
Fuck. Okay. Well, hang on. Well, who's he choosing? Because there's some ones where we're different.
Vegas money line: Aston Genty plus 40, Jordan Love plus 175, Saquon Barkley plus 60, Kyrie Williams plus 40. But if it hits, it is plus 5,300.
And he can invest it into the Yankee and the Brits. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
No, that's crazy. But I said every one of those could hit, but a 16-leg parlay is crazy. So let me know what happens, Freeze, and don't bet the house on that. That's one of those you maybe bet $5, right? You maybe bet $5 to win. I think it'd be like 2,700 or something crazy, like, or 27,000 or something crazy like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Fucking nuts.
Jay, the Seattle Seahawks are 7.5-point favorites against the New Orleans Saints. Jay, from what you've seen of Spencer Rattler so far this year, is Kellen Moore the true QB whisperer?
I mean, I think he's doing well with Kellen Moore. I don't know if I'd go as far as the QB whisperer, but I do like what I'm seeing out of him. And I just, the problem is the rest of that team is so fucking bad. And I know Hitman really wanted Alvin Kamara, but I'm like, I don't know how much Kamara is going to do this year. He did make that trade.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we'll see. Kamara's like the only real life of talent sometimes, I feel like, that's on that team. I mean, Chris Olave, but he's got, like, head injury issues. Yeah, so I don't know. I just think this is such a rebuilding year for the Saints that they can try and do whatever they want. I say you just keep what you're doing and see if you can develop Spencer Rattler and see if he's the future of this team.
Yeah, and look, I think that they've been playing some. I think they've been playing some really, like, that's crazy, by the way, a 23 and a 21 leg bet. That's mad. That you've hit that. Congrats. But I think the fact that the Saints are playing some really feisty ball, and I think they look like they've looked in games. They've like they've not necessarily finished in games, but they look in games. Jay, the Seattle Seahawks, on the other hand, like, I'm not really sure where they are. I do feel like this is Sam Darnold's best chance of being a long-term NFL career starter. But they looked good last week. They looked not so good the year before. And I have no idea where Seattle are really setting themselves and meant to be. Like, is your Super Bowl window really open in the division that you're in with the Rams and the 49ers and the Cardinals looking better? Like, is your Super Bowl window open? No. Well, then you're kind of, the build that you're currently doing doesn't really make loads of sense. They're 7.5-point favorites in this game. Who you got?
I am taking the fucking Seahawks to cover the spread, which I absolutely hate because I went back and forth. But I think Sam Darnold is literally going to be the guy against mid to low tier teams. He's going to look good, and against elite teams, he's going to look bad because I don't think the team is set up around him to succeed. And if it's all about the money, then he did the right thing. I think when the year's over and it's said and done, he's going to wish he stayed in Minnesota for that $15 million.
Yeah, definitely. I think I possibly agree with that. Just with the way that I don't know.
This isn't me being a scorned fucking fan. I just think his best chance of proving to the league 2 years in a row and then securing a 5-year bag would have been another year in Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't really understand the building process that they've got. I don't really understand the building process that they've kind of got in Seattle. So I don't know whether that is the place for Sam Darnold. Thank you for the
You
investment.
keep your money free. I appreciate you, but you keep that money freezes.
Jay, the Dallas Cowboys are going up against the Chicago Bears. The Cowboys are 1.5-point favorites. Jay, with Deron Bland ruled out of this game, is this Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson's chance to actually get things moving?
Speaking of disrespectful lines, this is the most disrespectful line of the week. I feel like has to be the betting. I think people think the Cowboys are dead because Micah Parsons. I think they act like he's a starting NFL quarterback. Yes, Micah Parsons is the best defensive player in the league. He was not going to change life in Dallas anyway, like to the point where you guys were going to the Super Bowl over just Micah. I don't know. I definitely think that this is disrespectful as hell because we have seen nothing from the Bears to make us think that the Bears are as good as people were trying to tote them at the offseason. And you and I were also ones in the offseason going, where is all this love coming from except for just Ben Johnson? And I'm not saying Ben Johnson can't coach. And Matty has a take that I don't necessarily agree with, but maybe it's true. Like they're not a fit. I just think that the problem is Caleb, but I could be wrong. I do think, though, that you have me thinking as I watch this year, is it the mix of Ben Johnson and Caleb, or is just Caleb not equipped to play in the system in the NFL? And he did all that runaround shit in college, which people praise him for, but it worked at Oklahoma, did not work at USC.
Yeah, and I think with the athletes around you, that doesn't work. But I think that Ben Johnson's system also really almost punishes that kind of quarterback play in in a strange way, because everything's got to be so on time in Ben Johnson's system. So I'm not saying if Caleb Williams went to another system, it would be better, because I don't think the runaround shit that he was doing at college does translate to the NFL either. It's just that system particularly makes it look bad, or like a Shanahan system particularly makes that kind of play look bad. Like first read, second read, go. Like that's what you've got to do. Whereas Caleb's like, oh, maybe this will develop into something. I just need to keep it alive. And it's like, throw the fucking ball away, Caleb. Like, is what you've got to do.
Sometimes throwing the ball away is the best play you have. You know how many times you've seen a coach cheer a young quarterback for throwing the ball away? Like, great job. That was fucking the only play you had. Don't force it. Let's punt and play another down. Where Caleb's like, I'm going to try to make something happen on every play.
Yeah, and look, I agree with you. I think this line is disrespectful. I hate betting on the Dallas Cowboys, but they are one of my best bets. One of my 3 best bets of this week at -1.5. I've just checked the betting to see if the money had changed the lines, because I was just expecting, like, Dallas Cowboys fans bet on the Dallas Cowboys because Dallas Cowboys fans are insane because they're Dallas Cowboys fans. You know, like there's to be a Dallas Cowboys fan, you've got to be a type of insane. So like a lot of them bet money on the Cowboys, and I'm surprised that the money hasn't changed that line. That's pretty crazy to me. It's still at 1.5. But yeah, I do think that this is a game where Caleb Williams could get big yardage. I'm very happy that I've managed to pick him up in fantasy. The Dallas Cowboys defense looked ropey against the Giants last week, and I think the thing that the Dallas Cowboys desperately need to do is get behind running the ball. The Dallas Cowboys have a run game that no one expected them to have. Javonte Williams, as a pickup in fantasy football, was betted to average at 9 points. He's now up to 16 already, like is what ESPN have bumped him up to, because no one expected the Cowboys to have a run game. And they have a run game. Use it. Dak Prescott is playing some of his best ball. Put it away. Keep the defense off the field. Just run the ball down the Bears' throat for the majority of this game.
I was looking up Viking stats because I wanted to see where they were ranking in offensive. They're like 16th overall, whatever. But they're 6th in run blocking, right? The Cowboys were like 8th, like in run block. Like, so and that's just to start the season on a line we thought was going to be kind of iffy. And you and I talked about the best way to get an offensive line right is get them run blocking, because they enjoy that. And most lines are better at that right away. And then it helps your pass blocking too. I don't know. I like how the Cowboys are trying to establish the run, and I beat them up for not doing anything in their running back room, really. I mean, I might be wrong with this.
It turns out that Javonte Williams was just injured for a little bit, and is just coming back from injury, is what it looks like to me. And then people are forgetting Miles Sanders scored a great touchdown against the Giants in a really tight collapsing run game. He stepped 2 players to make a really good get a really good touchdown. I was annoyed about it because of fantasy points, but I was happy about it because Miles Sanders has the quick feet, clearly, that he's able to do. So. Yeah, I think the Dallas Cowboys win this game. I feel like the Bears are getting too much. We spoke about this on the show on Thursday. The Bears defense is getting too much love, surely. The Bears defense is massively overhyped, right?
Yeah, because they're all basing it on all the shit they said in the offseason. And it's like, well, where is there anything to back up except for the fact that you believe they brought in guys who could do something? We have not seen it. And now, the offense has been so bad, but nobody's talking about the times that the defense has let this Bears team down already this season.
Yeah, definitely. And they look like the Bears defense looks appalling. The Bears offense, you're like, there's something there. With the Bears offense, you're like, okay, Caleb has something, and DJ Moore has something. There's things there. But for the defense, I've just looked at it and it looks so lackluster. Jay, the San Francisco 49ers are 2.5-point favorites up against the Arizona Cardinals. Purdy is listed as questionable going into this week. Is it worth risking Brock Purdy or just give the reins to Mac Jones for a little bit longer?
I don't know. Mac Jones didn't look all that great in last week. I think they're like, yeah, if I can get Brock Purdy back, I will. But I'm not sure that that's going to make the difference at all either. I don't like San Francisco in this game. I like Arizona in this game, and the fact that they're underdogs makes me go, well, I definitely have to bet this.
Yeah, I just the Cowboys hate on this channel is just
that's just worldwide, buddy. That's just worldwide. It's not if you're a Cowboy fan, you're a Cowboy fan. If you're not, you don't like them for the most part. I'm not a Cowboys hater. I'm one of the weird people that are like the anomaly. I'm the anomaly. Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know whether I would just, to be honest, if it was me, I'd throw Mac Jones out there another time just to see if one more week of Mac Jones gives you a bit more, because I still don't know whether the $50 million on Purdy was at all worth it. So I would like to know my answer on that before going into it. But Jay, me, I don't love the 49ers either. It's the injuries for me, but I'm going to stick with them in this game. I'm going to take them to win. I think Christian McCaffrey is starting in this game as well, and I think that is a big upside for them. And to be honest, Jay, I'm not buying into the Cardinals 2-0 start to the season. They've beat the Saints in their first game, and the other.
Okay,
who else was it?
Hold on. Week? This guy, you're the guy who in the offseason were like, I think they have a chance to push for the division. Yeah. I think they're going to be a better team. This is the year that they're going to make me look correct. And then you're like, give me the 49ers. I don't know. I'm just pointing that out. That's all I'm pointing out.
Yeah.
And you were missing up the 49ers. They're dead. They're going to win 6 games.
Yeah. So far the Cardinals have beat the Panthers, and they've beat the Saints, and they beat them in close games. And look, I just want the Cardinals to be more consistent. And if that's consistent in terms of playing in close games and winning close games, then great. That'll be awesome. I don't think they're there. I don't think they're there yet. And I'm worried about the Kyler Murray clicking. So I'll take I'm going to take the 49ers in this one. And it doesn't feel good, but don't change things on the spreadsheet. Every time I change it on the spreadsheet, I lose. So I'm going to keep it the same. Right. Jay, the Giants are going up against the Chiefs, and this is upset of the week, written everywhere, all over NFL studios. Upset of the week, Giants going down to the Chiefs. Jay, do you see it? Do you see the Chiefs going down to the Giants?
Look, if you want to know what I think about the Giants, watch any of our last videos. I don't even have to go over it again. This is absolutely ridiculous. Give me the Chiefs minus the 6.5. Lock it the fuck in. I don't even need to discuss that. That whole discussion is so ridiculous to me that if I get into it, I'm going to go on a 15-minute rant. So the floor is yours, Matty.
Yeah, I think with the Giants,
it's only
I can
6
see that.
too. I thought it was
It's
6.5.
Yeah,
it's 6. Yeah.
So it's 6. It's 6. With the Giants, I think like their defensive line looks great on paper. The Dallas Cowboys with their offensive line, where yes, the run blocking is good, the pass blocking is not great. Like it's middle of the road, but it's not great. The Dallas Cowboys just hung 40 on them. That's the entire point that everybody in these shows is making, as far as I can see, is the Giants defensive line and the Chiefs offensive line. The Giants look like they could get the better of them on paper. And on paper, I agree. But in reality, from what we've watched, the Chiefs offensive line has been fine. Simmons has been fine at tackle. Like they've been fine. And the Giants got nothing against the Dallas Cowboys. And Dexter Lawrence didn't do anything in the run game against the Cowboys as well. And that's the big place where people are looking. So where I do worry about the Chiefs, though, Jay, is they don't have the weapons. They currently don't have their weapons. Their weapons are out injured or suspended. And Patrick Mahomes is having to do stuff that Patrick Mahomes usually leaves till the playoffs. He's currently running the Chiefs in rushing plays, and he did a few of those lower the helmet carries through guys last week, and it's stuff that we don't normally see till the playoffs. But Jay, I think this is a get-right game for the Chiefs. I'm going to take the Chiefs in this one at 6 points. Although I don't love the spread, I would love it if it was a bit closer. Jay, the other thing here is Russell Wilson could just play another amazing game of Jameis Winston-style YOLO ball, with Jameis Winston clearly in his ear just saying, hoik it down the field. What's the worst that can happen? You're probably going to get benched a few more games into the season anyway. So that's something that could happen, but I think that the Chiefs cornerback room is more than good enough to cope with that. Jay, the final game of this week is the Baltimore Ravens, 4.5-point favorites against the Detroit Lions. And anytime that Lamar Jackson goes up against an NFC team, he seems to blow them out, except from one time last season. Jay, are the Ravens' defensive problems being overlooked because of the high-power offense? Their defense, I don't think, has been great in the first 2 games of the season.
I have the easiest way to answer that for you. Detroit minus or plus the 4.5. If I was even ballsier, I'd bet the money line. Lions win this game 38-35, mark it down.
So you think we're going to see the Lions of last week rather than the Lions of week 1?
I think we're going to see an offensive Lions and a struggling defensive Lions, but I also feel like the Ravens have been struggling on defense, and they're going to hit a high-octane offense. I think mistakes will be what changes this game. And Lamar is a better quarterback than Jared Goff, but Jared Goff makes way less mistakes than Lamar, and I think that's what ends up being the factor in this game. Give me the Lions to win by 3. And I think it'll be somewhere around 38-35, 42-38, 39, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Big scoring game. Jay, I'm going with the Ravens in this one. I think that the Lions are going to fall.
Most logical people are.
I think that the Lions are going to fall to kind of like the Packers curse of last season, where the Packers the Packers annihilate. And I think the Lions will annihilate bad teams and mediocre teams and then falter to the good teams. Having watched them against the Packers, they had nothing. That Ravens offense is so high octane. And I think the Ravens would be better served scoring less points, but keeping the ball on the offensive side of the ball. And I'd be surprised if they haven't learned that lesson yet. Derrick Henry, instead of scoring that touchdown, that's 80 yards, take a fucking knee. I know that's horrible to say. You're going to score it anyway. Coming off.
The reason I disagree is the more plays you get Lamar, the more chances he has to make a mistake. And we've watched Lamar throw horrible interceptions at horrible times or get the ball knocked out of his hand on a fumble. I don't want Lamar dropping back 60 times. I don't want Lamar having a chance to have that happen, because And the reason it happens is because Lamar's so good, he thinks he can just make it happen on every play, which ends up costing them. Sometimes being super talented makes you do things that end up hurting you.
Josh Allen went down to that same stuff as well earlier in his career, where he's just got such a talent. I saw that. I didn't know if you were going to put that up.
I just saw it. No, that was Freeze's calling me racist, but okay, we're good with
it. Yeah. But Jay, that's going to be a fun game, a high-scoring game, and we're 7 minutes out from the start of Week 3 in the NFL. Jay, just to finish off, have you got a fantasy player that's a must-watch this week? Now, just to clarify, must-watch might mean put him in your team and he's going to score loads of points, or must-watch as in keep an eye on him, see how he does, and then maybe next week you can put him in the team as well.
So my player to watch this week, and I think he has a big game, is Gibbs. I think that the Lions will utilize him in the pass game also. He is so fast. I think you have to get the ball in his hands and let him do the work for you sometimes. And I think the Lions understand that with what they're doing. And I think that they will highlight him in this game. And as a fantasy guy, think he gets you plus 15.
Yeah, and I think that Gibbs is I feel like Gibbs is always a good, if he gets the ball in his hands, he's a big point scorer. Jay, my player who I think is going to have a really big game is going up against Adoree Jackson, and he's also going up against me in fantasy. It's Davante Adams. I think he's going to have a huge game this week. So if you're umming and ahhing about Davante Adams in your team, one, how fucking good is your wide receiver room in fantasy if you're umming and ahhing about Davante Adams going in, but put him in. And two, Jay, my player to watch, I think, for people, because I couldn't decide between these two, is Tetairoa McMillan. I think you should watch Tetairoa McMillan, the Panthers wide receiver. He's going to be their number one wide receiver, and he is serious volume wide receiver potential. So get him in your team if he's not there, or make sure to watch him if he's on things like free agency or someone's got him deep in the depth chart and you want to make a trade. Get hold of him for next week if he looks good this week.
Fantasy owners who got Ashton Genty, don't worry, your fantasy life is about to change this week too.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Don't pull the plug on Genty just yet.
I almost picked Ladd McConkey because I think he's going to have a good game too. So I had a few of them for people.
Yeah, my team is really fucking high ceiling, low floor. I've realized this season it's like a really weird high ceiling, low floor.
That's what happens when you're drinking and singing karaoke while drafting. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I was too busy singing Ed Sheeran and Sam Fender instead of drafting.
We know you were singing Bon Jovi, fucking Blaze of Glory. All right, Matty, let's get up out of here. Oh, what were you saying? Sorry,
me and you, we've got DK Metcalf and DJ Moore in the flex, and I was going to take DK Metcalf, but was too drunk, so pressed DJ Moore by accident. So it'll be interesting to see who scores more points against each other in the flex this week.
All right, everybody. Well, hit us in the comments. Let us know what your best bets of the week are or your best fantasy. And make sure you check out all the other shows. We got Winging It, The Playlist, College Football Junkies, The Connor and Heffron Show, MMA Underground. I don't know. I'm missing some shit. Just tap in. Hit the notification and subscribe. All right. One world, one love. Deuces.
Cheerio.